either insta-delete or you're cutting through the noise. Like, that's the whole name of the game. That is what sales is. Like, that is why we do something like this. This is why we even dare to do like a podcast. It's like, can you capture attention? Period. It's the worst is if you're white noise. Second worst is like, okay, you're getting people's attention, but they think you're an idiot. Like, because there's plenty of people doing that too. And that's not what I'm going for.
It's selfish feelings that I feel because you're a prospecting machine, okay? And that's what we're talking about today is the lifeblood of sales, which is prospecting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sales Life. I'm here with Sean. Sean, I love you, buddy. I'm so glad to be back recording with you. And
wow, you just jumped right into it.
It's selfish. It's selfish feelings that I feel because you're a prospecting machine, okay? And that's what we're talking about today is the lifeblood of sales, which is prospecting. Yes?
Wow. Yes, it is the lifeblood of sales. And I haven't been a prospecting machine in quite some time. I think a few folks on my team would laugh at that comment. But yes, you're right. Prospecting is the lifeblood of sales.
So Sean, what I'm doing in this next few minutes is I'm going to ask you some questions because what I want to do is I want to absorb all of this energy that you've put into 20 plus years of business. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get rich after this episode just because they simply are they're going to go into their prospecting and let's call it business development with all of this strategy. Because, buddy, I want to get practical in this episode. I want people to feel like, okay, let's just stop for a second.
Okay.
As amateur podcasters, Sean, we are insanely lucky. Do you want to know why?
I would love to know why.
We might have the smartest audience. Granted, it's small. Most of our audience comes from LinkedIn. They're high performance, high caliber people. They're producers, not just consumers. It's not like people are just, on LinkedIn consuming. They're producing and they're looking for energy, tidbits, excitement. They want to be in the know. That's our audience. And that's what I hope to do today when it comes to the lifeblood of sales, business development.
Well, I think you're right. I do think we have an amazing group of people that would listen to this, and they probably know all the stuff that I'm going to say. So let's hope it's and I don't even know what I'm going to say. I would love to preface that because we don't plan this stuff ahead of time.
Well, you don't have to plan a question like this. Let's just start with this. Sean, you have someone who's brand new in sales and you have 60 seconds to frame their mindset around business development. What do you say?
It's easy. You have to make nonstop outbound attempts to talk to people. We have to frame it in what we know, which is commercial real estate. But so I'm saying you got to call 100 companies a day. And these are owners of buildings or occupants of buildings in my world. You do 100 a day and you work that really hard. And your goal is to set meetings. To be able to set a meeting, you have to get a decision maker on the phone. So you pick up the phone, you make a call, you get to a decision maker, and you close them for a meeting. Your goal is to meet face to face, where you could then diagnose what's going on, and you have to do a lot of it. Okay, and then so that's one side. You're cranking this wheel over here, this gear, 100 a day, 100 a day, 100 a day, and then you're going to go on this side, and you're going to go real slow, 3 a week, relationship meetings a week. Industry peers, vendors, owners that will meet with me just because of a relationship, 3 a week. You do that slow and methodically. Every time you meet with those people, you say, hey, is there anybody else you think I should meet with? And you just keep doing that.
And the issue is, with that is, you're likely going to fall into one of the two camps where you either enjoy the outreach part, where you're like, I love cranking away at this. I love hitting numbers. I want to do this 300 times a day, or you're going to gravitate towards the relational part where you say, I just want to be out to lunch with people, talking about life, business, whatever. And the trick is you have to do both. I like that mentality. What I would say, Sean, is that you can almost depend in our business if you've increased your luck surface area enough, like with the number, you can almost depend on getting lucky in a sense, right? Like you can leave a little room for mystery in business development. What I mean by that is just like as you do this, it's not like all of your business is going to come from just cranking the wheel, but you don't get lucky unless you crank the wheel.
I would agree with that.
That's what I didn't know starting out.
If you're not closing people for meetings and then closing them for getting hired, you're not in sales. Like transacting a real estate transaction is not, it's not a sales thing. That's a service thing. And you need people, like the way we've structured our team, we need people to service that. So we have people on our team that service. But I'm set up as a salesperson. I'm out on the front lines to bring in transactions to the team that the team can service. And make no mistake, when you're starting out in any realm of sales, like you're on the front lines. You have to make it happen. If somebody's handing you something to process, you're not in sales.
Yeah. So what have you gotten wrong? Let's start there. What have you gotten wrong about prospecting?
I think I definitely have not done the greatest job with the peaks and valleys of the pipeline. Momentum is so hard to get and so easy to maintain. And it's a shame I've lost momentum when I had it. I just had, I got to a point where all I had to do, truthfully, honestly, I had to make 5 cold calls a day, maybe 10, to keep that pipeline momentum going really strong. And I somehow convinced myself that I was too busy to do it. And I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, that's me. That's what I've gotten wrong. I'm OCD about closing deals. So like if a deal's not closed, I have to work on it. It makes me really good at this job, but it's very difficult for me. If I have 7 or 8 going on, there's like always something from those calling, and then I lose track of building the pipeline. So someone can do almost anything for you in sales. And in our business, someone can literally make your art. They can edit your podcast, do your videos, post your social, hopefully coordinate your transactions, follow up on due diligence. Like people can do all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
People cannot make sure that your pipeline is full. People will say they can.
That's very true.
Tech services will say they can. Other, services will say like, I can bring you leads or what have you. But it is your responsibility to make sure your pipeline is full. So that's one thing you just have to embrace. You have to embrace it.
I would agree with that. I think the other part is that there's some part of me that feels guilty when I'm looking for business, when my cup already runneth over, It's like I have so much business I can't get to it, but I'm going to go look for it. So I there's something in my brain that hasn't figured that part of it out. So, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, when I approach my days and weeks right now, it's like I have so many buildings that need to get filled. It's like if I don't put 100% of my time into that, I'm starting to feel guilty.
Yeah. Oh, no. And look, that's it. Before we dive in here, because my idea for this episode is to throw out a bunch of categories. So a little bit different than our typical conversational episode, but to try and throw out some really hot topics when it comes to prospecting, get your thoughts, get my thoughts, and just like kind of bam, 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 which I think will be really fun. But feelings is something you absolutely have to talk about. Like you could totally accuse me of not prospecting because I don't feel it. Like it's difficult for my personality type to do something when I don't feel it. Yeah. And there are times where, brother, it feels like I'm a prospecting machine. Yeah. And then there are times where it's like I don't feel it per se. And so the best people in the business just they're mechanical, for whatever reason. It's like it doesn't matter if I feel it. Like I have a job to do. I've put these feelings aside. I don't work on emotion. I don't wear it on my sleeve. Like I do this. It's part of who I am.
I think that's right. Yeah. And those people are machines and they kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. And Think about that. If you don't get anything else from this episode, I think it's an identity thing. Like, I am constantly prospecting for business. And even saying that out loud sounds exhausting, but you're looking for opportunities to help people. You're looking to make connections. And I think that's great. Okay. So
yeah, love it.
Without further ado, Sean,
yes,
let's dive into these topics, and let's get your thoughts. Let's get my thoughts, and let's help motivate people.
I'm ready. I hope I motivate myself. I hope I motivate myself. That's
first up.
Yeah.
Branding versus prospecting. What's the difference? Where do you dig in 2026? Branding, prospecting, go.
Branding, you are putting up a sign, putting up a billboard, casting a net, so to speak. And prospecting, you are taking aim through a scope of a rifle and pulling the trigger. Like, one is very targeted, proactive. The other is you're putting up a sign so people can know who you are and hopefully come to you. And you know what? I was just going to say everybody needs to do both. It's not true. You don't need to do both. Some people just do one and they do it really well. I would say you're increasing your chances for success if you do both, but you don't have to. If you're great at one, you don't have to do the other.
Yeah, and if I do think it's an old school thought to say, like, well, I don't need to do branding, for example. I mean, that is pretty much 100% of the reason why I've done things like LinkedIn, especially early on, when you realize I can get clients from this, I can establish a brand. You know, think about the LinkedIn, your tagline, like your headline literally is the point. It's the first thing everybody sees is that brand. So it's like, I help property owners in Central Kentucky maximize value. Yeah. And you would hope people drop it into your DMs or whatever, like, as you establish your brand, people are hopefully coming to you. Yeah. And I would say that's essential. I mean, that's a reason that you would put a lot of effort into that. Personally, I love branding. Did you know, Sean, the idea of branding comes from Kentucky bourbon?
I know. You're always talking about Kentucky. Here we go. Okay. Tell us about Kentucky bourbon. I'm just kidding.
Back in the day, you used to just sit in a bar and say, give me whatever, give me the brown stuff. And then eventually the distillery started to brand the barrels, and then branding became a thing. So the question is, like, how are you branding yourself in a way that differentiates you and shows your value as you prospect? Your prospecting is going to get easier and easier and easier. I think it's something you have to do in today's day and age.
Yeah, no, and the whole reason I approached even being thoughtful about what a brand would be and started with posting on LinkedIn and eventually led to doing stuff like this podcast is because I wanted to make my cold calls warm calls. I wanted people to know who I was by the time I picked up the phone and got them on the other end of it. So if you're like, hey, I don't care about branding, I'm all about prospecting, I would still say, well, if you really want to increase your success rate, you should be branding as well.
Yeah.
You have to.
All right, this next one goes along with that, but it's casting a net versus rifle shooting. And I want to talk about this in the context of 2026.
Yeah.
So, like, what does it mean in 2026 to cast a net and also rifle shoot? That sounds terrible. Sharpshoot. No, that's even more. Tackle specific people, if you will.
Yeah. Well, it's all about leverage, and this is what so many people who say such wise things on the internet, I think a lot of them owe this concept to Naval Ravikant. I certainly do. He talked about the concept of leverage, right? Leverage, doing leveraged activities.
Right.
Picking up the phone to call one person is a non-leveraged activity. That's your rifle shot approach, and that's, it's great. It's great. You just can't leverage it. So there's no scalability. Doing highly leveraged business development, casting the net, so to speak, those are your emails. So you write one email, you send it to 10,000 people, you make one billboard and you put it up in your market. I mean, there's these guys, some friends of mine who are brothers, and they do residential real estate, and they got billboards all over our market, and they're funny. it's great.
What are on the billboards?
They'll do like pop culture plays where they're just photoshopping their faces onto different things. I couldn't even think of a great one on the fly, but I don't know. But they're always there. Yeah.
My note that I put here was what you and I are in a business where we're going to circle back to AI at the end of this, but feel free to insert any AI stuff as we go. But we happen to be in a business where, although AI is increasing, the tools are increasing your and my capability to do both of these type of prospects and increasing our potential clients' capability of filtering out like what services and salespeople do I need.
Yeah.
Old school stuff still works.
Yeah.
Like a simple, like mailing, snail mail.
Yeah.
In our business still works. Handwritten notes, like the more that stuff goes crazy, the more that the just old school, straight up, I sent you this and wrote something on it means the world to people.
So this is the concept of we are all being bombarded with information at hyperscale nowadays, right? So I don't know about you. I probably get 400 emails a day, maybe 500. And most of them are not relevant. Yeah, something like that. But like our brains have learned very quickly how to screen things out, right? So I get a ton of property marketing emails from, buildings that are available in the market. It's like, it takes 0.2 seconds before I know what that is. I know I don't have to look at it and I instant delete it. So you have to think from that perspective of like, that is everybody that you're trying to reach. Their brains are hyper tuned to tuning out noise. So you have to reverse engineer that. How do I get past that filter in people's brains? And like you just said, a handwritten note, sending a package. We have this thing we call the orange envelope campaign. We do 8.5 by 11 size envelopes that are bright orange with a handwritten label on it. And that's what we send our property flyer information out to prospects with. Like, it stands out. If we did a cool branded...
Why orange?
I don't know. Maybe they were on sale that day. I don't know.
That's great.
If we did a cool branded like letter, hand stamp, I think people, when I pick up my mail, I know immediately which is just like garbage. It's just people trying to sell me a credit card or a service, and I throw those out. Yeah, you gotta just reverse engineer it.
Two things I have experienced recently, and these have actually fascinated me, is if throw a GIF or GIF, I'm not exactly sure how to say it, in your email. Have you seen more property emails where like if you take an aerial and embed it as a GIF into the email and the property sort of like opens or shows or zooms around, like you cannot miss those emails. Like highly recommend that.
Did you see that?
I saw yours.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've done it before.
Yeah.
Like
great.
I've used that. It's amazing, right? The other thing that Sean, that I think you'll love is our boy Tyler Bendy, who's on great follow on LinkedIn, social, whatever, and does single tenant, triple net lease sales around the country. Mm-hmm. They're on this. They published this campaign at the beginning of the year to sell 100 deals this year.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was super strong. And, it's like gained a lot of back to our former conversation. It was very good for the brand. Like, what if we did that? What if we could like actually roll through 100 deals? So you're kind of cheering for them.
Yeah.
When I see his emails, I'm like, I wonder what number that is. Like, I'm like, that could be deal 39. It could be deal 99 kind of thing. And I always like reply back or shoot him a text. I'm like, is this the 99th deal? And he's like, haha, no, it's not. It's not even close, whatever. But it's connecting it to a bigger overarching story about what your team wants to do. And I think that's fascinating. And it works.
Yeah. Smart. Really smart. I think the thing is you just got to stay ahead of things, right? Like using the GIFs in your emails or GIFs. I don't know. That's cool while only 1 or 2% of the people are doing it. The second it's like 30%, like move on, stop doing it. Because again,
right,
everybody's brain will adapt and pick up on, okay, that's a marketing email. I could delete it.
And look, let's jump to AI. When I say that, you saying that, like right now, for this very short window, this could last a month.
Yeah.
There's a gap. Like if you're, at least in my market right now, I'm using AI on a daily basis, and it's created in my communications, in my research, in outreach. There's a gap between what I'm doing and what the regular agent is doing. When will people, I'll give you a couple examples in a second, but when will people catch up? Could be a month, could be 3 months, could be a year. I don't know. But right now, 2 specific conversations I had this morning, it was very clear to me that there was a gap. And one of them was like actual client communication on the number and quality of leads, right? Like it's very difficult to actually send an email every Friday morning. Let's say you're my client, Sean. I've had 21 inquiries this week into this property. I would consider however many of them warm. Others are cold based on they didn't have all the information or whatever. Here's where the leads came from. Here's how I responded. Here's what's next.
Yeah.
Like I can do that now in 30 seconds.
That's amazing. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that.
You got to do that.
And it's
Claude
just
Cowork.
what, scrapes your email and puts it together automatically?
100 P, baby. This I'm like giddy. Like I get kind of like fired up about this because every listing is a Claude Cowork project, Sean. Okay. Every email, every communication goes in there. You have an encyclopedia on that deal from day one to the time it closes. You could literally say, I'm not doing time tracking, but you literally could tell the next neighbor over, I just sold this building. It took me 16 and a half hours, and I cycled through 54 people. Here's where the leads came from. Here's why you should work with me.
That's so strong.
And I'm not a super detailed numbers guy. Like I'm not the dude to be like, well, 35% of these leads are, I don't know why I went to the 50s voice, but.
It's your Mad Men voice.
35% of these leads are not good. Listen up, you hear?
That's pre-Mad Men for sure. Yeah, that's turn of the century stuff.
So I don't know, man. I get that time. I get very stoked about that. And
I don't know how that works with a team like myself. Like I got to look into Claude, right? We're 9 people, right? So there's 9 different people touching the deal at any point. I don't know if Claude works exactly the same that way.
Well, 10 with Claude. I would say there hasn't been anything, like I genuinely ask myself this, and I think everyone listening to this should be considering this right now. How could AI make your sales life worse? How could AI make your sales life better? Because there is no question that you could spend... It's doing both. There's no question you could spend 4 to 5 hours a day messing around with Claude when you could actually be prospecting, closing deals. There's also no question that using it in ways is going to allow you to, for me, Sean, I now have, again, being a little OCD, I now have this giant net. Okay? And I can throw any piece of information at this giant net at all times via text, email, whatever. Oh, you called me on this. Bam, you called me on this. It's in and out of my mind, but it's all saved forever. And I in a second, I can say, recap that conversation.
Yeah.
So
I think it's amazing. I think how can AI help? How can it hurt? I'll tell you how it could hurt is if you use it too much to replace your voice, your writing voice, or let's just say writing voice. I don't like it. It. Don't use it for your social media posts. Don't use it for your emails. I don't know. It all sounds the same. I don't think it's good. Anything where you're interacting directly with a client, I wouldn't use it.
Yeah, you're starting, by the way, Sean Ward, if you're listening to this right now, check out his LinkedIn posts now have a disclaimer. This was written by a human.
Yeah.
Which is the easiest thing to fake. I'm almost positive AI is writing those, and he's like...
You don't think they could figure that out, do you? Wait a minute. Are you serious? Oh, I would love somebody to do that.
We got
I'd love
you,
a
Sean.
real person.
You see? Listen up now, buddy. We've caught you in the act.
Dude, I'm ready to. I'm just flat out going to unfollow people when I see an AI post going forward.
What bugs you so much about it?
It's a one striker for me. I don't know. It's lazy. It's dude, it's like, well, what are we even doing here on social media? Why do you even show up? It's like, how about this? Okay, you have AI write your post. I'm just going to have an AI read LinkedIn for me, and then they'll just talk, and we don't even have to show up. It's like, why am I showing up if you're not showing up? I'm not going to show up and read the thing you didn't show up to write. Oh, it pisses me off.
Dude, LinkedIn is dead.
Oh, man.
Like, you and I, I'm sorry, I hate to go here. I hate to go here. You and I met on LinkedIn. We love this platform. We've gotten clients from it and connections from it. And dude, I don't know. I guess I'm getting worse at either writing the post or
there's just the machines are creating too much noise. It's harder to get signal from noise on LinkedIn right now.
Like, I wrote a banger today, dude. Top 10 mistakes I've seen in people making real estate. Like, I'm thinking that's 50,000 views. And I think it got 7 or 8 reactions, and my grandma saw it, and it's like 364 views. Like, it didn't even make 4 figures of views or something.
It's a good podcast episode.
Yeah, we could do that.
LinkedIn's not dead. We're hitting up against time. Here's where I think we should land this thing.
Okay, because I still have a bunch more. I might have to just do
keep rolling. Rapid fire. Okay.
Rapid fire. Okay. How to pick up the phone. We each get 2 sentences. How to pick up the phone.
Lately, because I've had such a hard time doing it, it's so hard to get started. When I'm ready to start, I pull out my phone and I put the stopwatch timer on, and I have it click away, and I see it, and I might be on minute 2.5, and I'm like, I'm just sitting here scared to pick up the phone. And I just, somehow that forces me to pick it up. Otherwise, I'll get to email, I'll get to other projects, and I'll just avoid it altogether. So when I set the intention to make calls, I pull out my phone stopwatch and start it. I don't know.
Love it.
Maybe that works. Maybe
I say, do not make a single call sitting down. Get a standing desk or a platform, stand up, be able to move and walk, use AirPods or a speakerphone to make the act frictionless.
People can feel that energy. People can feel it. Oh, you know what? This is helpful. The synapse just connected. When I first started, a guy I worked with had this little mirror on his desk, a little mirror like this, and it said, and it faced him, and it said smile, and then underneath it said your prospects can hear what you see. And it was the whole point of, like, if you're smiling, it kind of comes through that way. But if you're not, and you're not energetic, that comes through as well. So I've tried to adopt that mentality of when I'm making cold calls, I force myself to smile, and it does something with the tone of my voice and my energy, and it's better.
Speaking of smiling, if you could have seen Sean try to shoot a short video with thumbnail poses, it was one of the most awkward. One of the most awkward things I've seen. I pretty crazy. That's good. Love what you said. Smile, stand up. How to make sure your call adds value. Crucial. 2 sentences each. How to make sure your call adds value.
I would say if you don't know before you pick up the phone, I would just don't pick up the phone. The worst is if you get somebody on the phone and you squander that opportunity because you haven't really thought of what you're calling about. And you're just like, hey, just checking in with you, seeing if, I don't know, you're making any changes or anything. It's like, no, I'm not. Thank you. Goodbye. Like, call and offer something of value. Like, give before you before you try and take. Do it ahead of time.
I would just say distill the data set that you're using, which I'm assuming everyone agrees in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of data that we have as brokers that can help potential prospects and add tremendous value to them, be it recent sales, market happenings, new developments, that sort of thing. Just have 3. Every week, start the week with, I've got 3 talking points for anyone in Central Kentucky multifamily. One is super data driven. The other is this project just got denied. Did you hear about this? The other is whatever. Just have three.
That's a great way to do it. It's a leveraged way of doing that. That's great. Love it.
Okay. How to build your list.
I don't know. I don't know. We have a database, and there's different folks on the team right now that are updating it. So if I had to start from scratch, here's how you start from scratch. You just go door to door. At least in my world. I don't know how you do that with owners of investment properties. I don't know. How do you do that?
Well, this gets into like where I take interns. So I'll take this one. So I would say 400. Like 400 buildings, 400 companies, whatever. Start with 400. That's a really good list before you make a single call. Yeah. And then be able to, after you work through those 400, then look back and say, okay, what was successful? How many answers did I get? Whatever. Don't do that with 25. It's not enough. 100's not enough. 200's not enough. Have 400 because you'll likely have 30 to 50 conversations and maybe 7 or 8 meetings from that 400.
Amazing.
Where I take interns, Sean, I just did this the other day, is how I learned the beauty of specialization in commercial real estate was a tiny little office park when I first started, and I got a little office listing, and I was like, okay, this is good. I've got this one deal under contract, and there's 28 of these. And I'm like, I'm just going to call every single person in this park and learn, so it's like 28 office condos or whatever. Ended up with 6 deals from the one because it was like 2 needed tenants. I got to know the owners. Ended up making another sale. That person then bought something else, and it was all. So I take interns to this park, and I'm like, look, I just had one. But the beauty of calling all of these was it created this web of relationships in future deals, and activity begets activity. So you just dig in the neighborhood. So that's a good way.
Love it.
Playing the long game. Kind of boring, but that was one of my points.
Skip.
Playing the long game with prospecting. Skip. Sean, what have you learned about prospecting? Maybe we'll finish with this one, actually. What have you learned about prospecting by owning real estate? Being pitched on services as a real estate owner, what have you learned, and how has that changed your viewpoint on prospecting?
I mean, it's the best way. That's great. You're talented at these. It's the best way to understand how to sell people is be on the receiving end. And you could also do that. Always plug in the platform, but you're on the receiving end of pitches on LinkedIn all the time. My message box is flooded, and it's so clear. Here's the value for being on LinkedIn alone. You get a great view. If you get, 20 in a week, which are the ones that cut through the noise and which ones are instant delete? And then just imagine you're out in the market and people are viewing you that way. You're either insta delete or you're cutting through the noise. Like, that's the whole name of the game. That is what sales is. Like, that is why we do something like this. This is why we even dare to do like a podcast. It's like, can you capture attention? Period. Can you do that? Like, can you do that in a way where people find you credible and you're not capturing attention by turning people off? It's the worst is if you're white noise. Second worst is like, okay, you're getting people's attention, but they think you're an idiot. Like, because there's plenty of people doing that too. And that's not what I'm going for. Some people like that. Some people will be real abrasive with the way they approach people because they don't care. They just want the attention. But I don't even remember what the question was, but owning real estate. Yeah, I've gotten pitched so much different things. And it's so obvious the right way to do things and the wrong way once you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah. We'll finish with this. Is there a piece of prospecting, while you want to become a machine with the spreadsheets and work your percentages, this is what our whole podcast is about, is the human part of this is empathy.
Yeah.
And you have to create empathy in yourself. And if you have experienced, like if you've been in a deal and you needed, it's one thing to refer an attorney. It's another thing to have an attorney come through for you on a closing that made you money, got you out of a spot, completed the deal or whatever. That becomes a totally different referral in the future.
Yeah.
So the more you own, the more you know. I think that's
Yeah, that's a great slogan.
At least a very good point to consider.
I think it's amazing. I'd like to end on this point. The thing we started with, what you said, what would you tell a new salesperson? I would say this: your battle in the beginning is to get reps. And you need reps not because your sales skills suck and you need as many at-bats as possible, which is true, but you need as many at-bats as possible because that's how you get better. So you need a lot of reps. Mm-hmm. And I would say if you don't think you can do at least 100 outbound attempts a day, you have to expand your mind. You have to believe that because it's 100% possible. So take a day. Take one day, sacrifice one day, and say, I'm not doing anything else but trying to set my personal record for outbound attempts in this day. And turn off your email, turn off all the distractions, and I guarantee you're going to get over 100. You'll probably hit 150 or more. And once you know you can do that, it's not a big deal to sit down and crank out 30 or 40 calls after that. It's a great starting point.
That's the perfect place to end this episode of Sales Life. If you're out there pitching your services, send Sean Ward a DM. He's open. He's ready to hire you. He needs stuff. Tech, you name it. Call Segs. He needs it all. So shoot him a DM right now. I hope he gets hundreds, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace, Sean. To Sales Life, we're glad you're on this journey with us. And if you are, let's make it official. You can subscribe to this show on YouTube at Sales Life Podcast, or simply search Sales Life Podcast in Apple or Spotify for the audio version. In addition, did you know, we're super stoked about this, we have a weekly email newsletter. It's called The Letter of Intent. It comes out every Saturday. It's fresh content, doesn't always relate to the episode, but you get that from Sean and I in your inbox every Saturday morning. The link to our newsletter is in the show notes, so go ahead and check that out below. Appreciate you all listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.